Hello, and welcome to the University of South Florida, St. Petersburg Open House. In this information session, we are going to cover the transfer application process. So I'm going to go ahead here and share my screen. And we'll go ahead and just speak briefly about the university system, and then we're going to talk specifically about the admissions process and the scholarship process for incoming transfer students. So just a little bit about USF as a whole. So obviously Open House today is going to cover the St. Petersburg campus. But to give students an idea of just the university system overall, we were founded in 1956. We have an undergraduate population of about 37,000, but when you add in our master's and doctoral students, we're up to about 50,000 students. So we are a little bit of a larger institution, but we do make sure that we are making sure that our students have one-on-one attention, they have personalized attention with their professors, or their questions are getting answered, that they have access to all of their resources, and they're aware of what's available as a university system. So that might be tutoring, that might be the writing center, that might be just additional resources for wellness or counseling. And so what you see specifically in academics is that is reflected in our student to faculty ratio and our average class size. So we want to make sure that our students feel that they have access to their professors, that they have access to their, their academic resources, and that they're able to ask the questions that they need to be successful in their classes. So we do take that little bit of a larger university feel and make sure that we break it down a little bit, making sure that that's reflective in our student to faculty ratio and our average class size. We do like to also highlight diversity and inclusion. So one of the overall university initiatives is to make sure that we are an inclusive community. And you will see that that is reflective across our campuses with a 41% diversity, percentage of diverse students. So that is going to be, encompassing all 50 states, 141 countries. It's going to be highlighted by our multicultural affairs office, who is presenting, different activities and events throughout each year, highlighting the diversity that we have on our campus. You're also going to see it in student organizations. We have international organizations. We have diverse student population organizations. So you will see that reflective across all three university campuses, as it is an initiative of the university. Across all three university campuses, you are also going to see 200 majors and various concentrations. Now on the St. Pete campus, you're obviously going to see a little bit of a smaller number of majors. Obviously, we still have an ample amount, but it does change per campus based on the number of students we have enrolled at that campus, the amount of availability we have for their certain majors. Now on the St. Pete campus in particular, we have forensic studies and justice, graphic arts, and then digital communication and multimedia journalism that are specific to the St. Pete campus. So you will see a couple that are going to be specific to campus, but you're going to see many of them that are going to obviously extend across all three campuses. But overall, we do have a multitude of options for our students to make sure that we're meeting the needs of the things that they want to be studying, and that we're able to offer the sorts of concentrations that break down those larger majors, and that they obviously have the availability to be studying the things that they're ultimately interested in pursuing. So to talk a little bit about the application process. So obviously going through Open House today, hopefully you are considering that application process with the university system. We're going to touch on essentially two different ways to, two different application pieces for the transfer process. So we do have a couple of different levels that we will refer to. The first of which is the upper level transfer. So upper level transfer means a student has an Associate of Arts degree, an Associate of Science degree, or 60 or more transferable credits. Now, usually when we're speaking about the Associate of Arts degree, we're talking about one coming from a Florida State institution. So a Florida State college or university, that might be Hillsborough Community College, that might be St. Petersburg College, that might be Pasco Hernando State College. But we're usually referring to that AA being from a Florida State institution. Now, obviously, we're going to review and recognize Associate of Arts degrees from out of state, but that process usually looks a little bit different. AS degrees can come from in-state, out-of-state, and then 60 or more transferable credits is dependent on the number of credits that you've taken and the number of credits that are transferable into the university, meaning we can accept them into the university based on the curriculum that we offer. So the application process for a student who is considered upper level is going to be relatively mainstream. So we have the application, which is done either through the university application. We're also present on common application and coalition applications. I do believe for transfer students, we focus most specifically on common application and our own university application. We have a $30 application fee. We do require official college transcripts from every previously attended institution. So if you have gone to more than one college or university, then you are going to be requesting more than one college or university transcript because you're going to request it from every previous place that you've attended. Now, obviously, if you've only gone to one, then you're only requesting one college transcript. So we do require the official college transcripts, and we do strongly encourage the official high school transcripts because there is a foreign language component that we like to review during the application process. So for an upper level transfer student, the foreign language is, as long as you have that recognized 60 or more transferable credits, then the foreign language is not necessarily going to be required for an admissions decision, but it is going to be a component of the bachelor's degree, and we can use foreign language completed in high school to fulfill that requirement at the bachelor's degree. So we do encourage that final high school transcript to be sent during the application process so that we can go ahead and just get that box checked for you and you don't have to continue to think about it. Then we do also require official exam credit from every previously taken exam credit. So for example, if you took a multitude of AP scores, then we are going to require all AP scores be sent from College Board directly to the university. So you would be making that request for those exam credits. So that would be the same if you took CLEP, if you took ACE, you took IB, those are all going to be considered those exam credits that you would need to go and request directly from the testing website to be sent to the university. We do require the exam scores because we want to make sure that we are reviewing them straight from the source. We are not pulling them off the college transcript. So keep in mind that that is a component of the application process. For our international applicants, the process is very much the same as an upper level transfer student, but we're also often looking to make sure that if you have a transcript that was from a foreign national, it's a foreign national transcript and it is not in English, that it is translated to English and then sent by the translation company to the university. So if you don't necessarily have to do the credit by credit equivalencies because those are things that we will do for ourselves. We're able to receive that transcript and actually do that in-house. But we do need the credits to obviously be in English so that we can go and do that work on our end. We do require the native transcript. So we will require the native transcript, and then we will also require the translated English transcript. So keep in mind if you are an international student that is what you're looking at in your transcript process. And then if you do not have English proficiency, then you will also be asked for TOEFL or IELTS to be presented to the university as well. So you'll request those official test scores to be sent to the university so that we can review English proficiency. The other type of transfer student is considered a lower level transfer student. Now, we do have two ways of reviewing a lower level transfer student, but the most important thing to remember is that if you are lower level, you are applying to the university as a lower level student. We do not have what is considered a mid-level student indicated on the application. So you would apply as a lower level because you have less than 60 transferable credits, but more than 12. So for a student to be considered a transfer student, they have to have graduated high school and then completed 12 transferable college credits. So once you become considered a transfer between that 12 and 59, you are reviewed as a lower level. Now, there are two different types of lower level transfer students. We have the one who's between the 12 and 29 credits, and we have one that is between the 30 and 59. The process is relatively similar, but there is a little bit of change between what is required. So between 12 and 29 credits, you are still required to do the application, which again, university application, common application are the most frequently chosen for transfer students. The $30 application fee, the official college transcripts from every previously attended institution. We require the official high school transcripts. So unlike an upper level transfer who is going to need it for the bachelor's degree, the student who has between 12 and 29 as a transferable student is going to be required to provide the official transcripts from high school because we are reviewing that as the application process. Same with official SAT and ACT scores. If you are a student who has less than 30 transferable credits, you are required to present your official SAT or ACT scores, which you would be requesting through College Board or ACT.org. And then again, with official exam credit, you would also be requesting your APs, IBs, dual enrollment, ACE, or APs, IBs, ACE, or CLEP examinations as well. So those official examinations are going to be sent to the university. So those are the processes for a lower level transfer student who has between 12 and 29 credits. Keeping in mind that official high school transcripts and official test scores are a part of the review process, so those are required. Now, if you are within 30 and 59 transferable credits, you are still considered lower level, but depending on where you are in your education, you might not have to present official SAT or ACT scores. So your application process would be the same. So you would apply as a lower level transfer student, pay your $30 application fee, send your official college transcripts from every previously attended institution, submit your official high school transcripts because those are also reviewed as part of the application process. So lower levels are always required to present their official high school transcripts for review. But then if you have a transferable college level English that you received a C or above in, and then a college level math that you also received a C or above in, you might not be required to submit your SAT or ACT scores. So again, that's for somebody who has 30 to 59 credits. And then if you have that transferable college level English and college level math, you might not be required to send those official SAT or ACT scores. Usually when we're speaking about college level English, we're talking about ENC 1101, ENC 1102. And then with math, we're usually looking for at least intermediate algebra and above. So traditionally it is intermediate algebra, college algebra, and then we do look at, I believe it is MGF 1107, and then statistics are usually the ones that would count as that college level math. So starting out with one of those courses with a C or better usually means that we can bypass the necessity for SAT or ACT scores, and then exam credits as well. So you all would also be requesting your AP, IB, ACE, or CLEP examinations. The dates and deadlines for each term are indicated here. So these would be ones that you want to monitor on the website. So summer of 2022 and fall of 2022 are consistent. Spring of 2023 usually is consistent as well, although there is a chance that it might change. So keep in mind that if you are looking at spring of 2023, it is best to refer to the website. But for summer of 2022, that application is due by March 1st, and then all of your materials are required to be on file by March 15th. When we are speaking and referring to an application completion deadline, what we mean is that your application has to be on file by the first deadline, which would be March 1st, June 1st, or November 1st. But then your transcripts, if your college transcripts, your exam credits, if you're providing official high school transcripts and or official test scores, then those items must be on file by the second deadline indicated, which would be March 15th, June 15th, or November 15th. So we're talking about completion. We mean that the application and all of its materials are completed by that deadline. So speaking briefly about the admissions criteria, we're going to focus most on upper level transfer students. So that is, again, a student who has an Associate of Arts degree, an Associate of Science degree, or 60 plus transferable credits. Now with an Associate of Science student, there's a chance that some, because it is a technical degree, some of those credits might not transfer over, which would then change your student type. But for the sake of this conversation, we're just going to assume that an AA, an AS, and 60 transferable credits makes a student an upper level. So what we're reviewing primarily as an upper level transfer student is going to be their college credits. Now, if you have an Associate of Arts degree from a Florida college system school, which is going to be a Hillsborough Community College, a St. Petersburg College, a Pasco Hernando State College, then we are looking that you have at least a 2.0 transferable college GPA with the Associate of Arts degree awarded. Any transfer student, regardless of lower level or upper level, must have a 67% completion ratio, which completion ratio means of the attempted coursework that you've done, at least 67% of that is going to be passed hours. So you have to have successfully completed at least 67% of what you've attempted during your college career. You do have to obviously submit your current transcript and your final transcript. So current transcript is going to show us what you presently have in progress. And then eventually you will also owe us the final transcript. So you'll need to send an updated one so we can see that you completed your education. We do need to see that degrees have been earned. So if you're an upper level transfer student in progress to your AA degree or AS degree, then we'll eventually need to see that that degree has been awarded. And then there are some instances where a student is upper level and does not have an awarded AA degree from a Florida college system school. If you are one of those students who does not have an AA degree from a Florida college system school, nor will you be receiving one, then your GPA is going to be a little bit higher. Usually an upper level transfer who has at least 60 transferable credits, but does not have an awarded an Associate of Arts degree and is not on a pathway to an Associate of Arts degree from a Florida college system school in particular, is going to have at least a 2.3 transferable GPA. One of the most important things to note is at the very bottom of this slide, we do have an asterisk that says GPA subject to vary depending on selected major and transfer student type. So transfer student type is primarily referring to a lower level transfer student. Lower level transfer students have different requirements than upper level students do. So lower level transfer students, we are reviewing, if you have less than 30, we are reviewing the competitiveness of your test scores, the competitiveness of your high school GPA, and the competitiveness of your college GPA. We're also reviewing, if you are mid-level, then we are reviewing your high school transcripts to ensure that foreign language was completed in high school. We are looking to also see that you graduated in good academic standing from high school, and then we're looking at the competitiveness of your college GPA. Usually as a lower level transfer student, we need to see that the college GPA is at least a 2.5 transferable GPA. For all students, we're looking at the last institution attended as well. We want to make sure that the last institution attended is going to be in good academic standing as well, so that a student at the last institution that they're attending is in good academic standing. So there are various different ways that your GPA would be reviewed between lower level and upper level, all of which is usually mapped out on the website to show you what specifically we're looking for. And then if you have any additional GPA questions, we can always address those as well. Also important to note that we cannot award an admissions decision with more than one semester in progress. So we only can allow one semester in progress in order to review a student for admission. So for example, let's say that you are applying for spring, but you have summer and fall in progress when you send us your transcripts. We have to hold on that application until we receive at least summer final grades so that we can only have that one fall in progress before we review for spring entry. And then selective admission, which was referred to in the previous slide, is speaking about those programs who have selective criteria. Some of those will have GPA requirements, such as College of Business. Some of those are going to have prerequisite coursework, College of Business, and then obviously our other majors that have that prerequisite coursework and grades that are required. One of the examples we have here is biology. This just kind of gives you a sense of what we're speaking about when we're talking about prerequisite coursework. So you can see here with biology, lower level, mid-level, upper level. Lower level, again, is that 12 to 29 credit. Mid-level is that 30 to 59, and then upper level is 60 plus. And this shows what would be required based on your student type to have already completed when you're applying to the university. One of the most important things to note is that prerequisite courses are ones that must be completed before a student can look at entering the university. So if you are a lower level transfer student and you're looking to come into the university, you have to have at least 3 of the required 6 prerequisites already completed. So that way we can look to see your progression to that degree and your eligibility for that degree. We do list all of our selective programs on the highlighted transfer requirements and deadlines section here. You can go through each one by college and by major. There are probably about 50 or so that do have either GPA requirements or coursework requirements. So if you are interested in a selective major program, you'll need to make sure that you are meeting those requirements as well as the university requirements. You can be eligible for scholarship as well. So the scholarship deadline is indicated here at the bottom. These are competitive scholarships. So these are going to be ones that students want to make sure they're completing their applications, by those deadlines or before those deadlines, and they have all the materials they need to be considered for those scholarships. But these are the two that we offer for transfer students, and further information can be found on the university website. And then last but not least, if you have additional questions for us, please feel free to contact us directly at either admissions@usf.edu or at the phone number indicated here, and we would be happy to answer additional questions. If you ever want to speak to anybody directly on the St. Petersburg campus, we do have a full team that is physically located here. We do recruit for the university system, so we do recruit for Tampa, St. Pete, and Sarasota. But if you are looking specifically to speak about St. Petersburg, you are more than welcome to reach us at our direct line, which is 727-873-4142. And we'd be happy to answer direct St. Pete questions. Again, you can always contact admissions, and any one of us can speak about the, all three university campuses and requirements as they extend across, obviously all three campuses. But if you ever want to contact us directly, you are more than welcome to do that as well. But thank you so much for joining me today for the transfer presentation. I hope that you had some of those questions answered and you are anxious to apply to the university. But again, if you need any additional questions answered or have anything that you'd like to talk with us about through the transfer process, then please always feel free to reach out. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much.